Are you looking for the best Samsung TVs? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best Samsung smart TVs on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Samsung 65-inch class OLED 4K S90C series. The S90C replaces last year's stellar S95B, and it follows in that model's footsteps as the best Samsung TV you can buy for the money. In fact, we think it's the best TV you can snag right now from any brand. The display uses an OLED panel with an infinite contrast ratio and quantum dots for better color performance than Sony and LG's competing mid-range OLEDs. Like all Samsung 4K TVs, the display supports the HDR10 and HDR10 Plus high dynamic range formats, and it looks stunning when playing compatible movies and TV shows. Highlights sparkle from the screen, and the S90C produces deeper, more precise black levels than any of Samsung's QLED TVs. And though Samsung's high-end QLEDs also have solid viewing angles, the S90C's OLED screen is even better. You can sit far off to the side of the TV without seeing any major loss in image quality. But while the S90C is bright for an OLED, at a peak of around 1000 nits, it still can't match the 2000 nit peak of Samsung's top QLEDs, like the QN90C. However, since the S90C's pixel-level dimming enables much better contrast control than a QLED's backlight, we think this dip in brightness is a more than acceptable trade-off. The S90C doesn't offer a big upgrade over last year's S95B, but it doesn't need to. Buyers get the same excellent picture quality, along with a new option to game at 144Hz when paired with a compatible PC. Ultimately, this is really more of a replacement for the S95B than a new iteration, but at deal prices as low as $1,600 for the 65-inch model, the S90C is a steal. Number 2. Samsung 65-inch class Neo QLED 4K QN85C series. The QN85C is an excellent choice for anyone shopping for a QLED TV that's under $1,500. Though brightness and color volume aren't quite as impressive as Samsung's more expensive QN90C, the QN85C is still part of the company's Neo QLED lineup. The Neo QLED branding means that the TV boasts quantum dots for expanded colors and a mini LED backlight for better contrast control than a typical QLED. This is an upper mid-range set that's ideal for buyers who want to save a little cash without sacrificing HDR quality. Samsung's S95C and QN90C can both get brighter, but make no mistake, this model is no slouch. You still get about 1000 nits of peak brightness, which is the standard that a lot of HDR content is designed for, and is enough to deliver a punchy image in a living room that lets in a lot of light. Contrast and black levels are strong, but the TV's local dimming performance still can't match the pixel-level precision of an OLED TV. On the plus side, the TV has solid viewing angles, which isn't something you see in a lot of QLED models from other companies. However, if you don't mind a more narrow viewing angle, you can get more bang for your buck with cheaper mini LED TVs from other brands, like the Hisense U7K. But the QN85C is the most affordable mini LED TV that Samsung sells. The next step down in Samsung's lineup, the Q80C, uses a regular LED backlight and has far fewer dimming zones, which leads to less impressive contrast and lower brightness. When it comes to mid-range QLEDs, the QN85C is the Samsung model to get. Number 3. Samsung 65-inch class Neo QLED 4K QN90C series. Though we do favor OLED TV tech for its superior contrast, QLEDs are still great TVs, especially if you need a really bright screen in your living room. Samsung's QN90C is easily one of the best QLED TVs on the market, and it serves as a worthy successor to last year's QN90B. Part of Samsung's Neo QLED series, the QN90C uses quantum dots for expanded color and a mini LED backlight. That latter feature is missing from Samsung's standard QLED TVs. In conjunction with full-array local dimming, the TV's mini LEDs enable it to produce deep black levels with better contrast and brightness control than a regular QLED TV. The QN90C's dimming still isn't as precise as an OLED like the S90C, so you will see some minor blooming around bright objects. But, compared to cheaper QLED models, the QN90C gets remarkably close to OLED-level contrast while delivering nearly double the peak brightness of the S90C and QN85C. The TV's high brightness capabilities make it an especially good choice for living rooms that let in a lot of ambient light. It also handles glare well and, unlike last year's QN90B, this model isn't prone to streaking rainbow reflections when light hits the screen at certain angles. And the QN90C has some of the best off-axis image quality you'll find on a TV of this type. If you don't want one of Samsung's OLED TVs, the QN90C is an excellent QLED alternative for people who need an extra bright display and never want to think twice about burn-in. Number 4. Samsung 65-inch class OLED 4K S95C series. When it comes to the best image performance you can buy, the S95C is the current king of Samsung's 4K TV lineup. It takes everything we love about the S90C but pumps up the brightness and packs it all in a thin, flat design. But given its high-end performance, it also comes in at an equally high-end price. Using Samsung's 2nd-gen QD OLED panel, the S95C manages to deliver a 30% increase in peak brightness over the S90C, with a max of around 1360 nits. This can make specular highlights and colors pop with a bit more intensity, while still offering perfect black levels. Like the S90C, the TV also supports a 144 Hz refresh rate versus the 120 Hz rate you'll find on typical high-end displays from other brands. This means you can connect a computer to get incredibly smooth gameplay, so long as your PC is powerful enough to output 144 frames per second. But unlike the S90C, the S95C has a uniformly slim profile. Though the S90C is technically slimmer at its thinnest point, the TV protrudes out toward the bottom to accommodate all of its video ports. The S95C, however, uses a separate One Connect box to house all of its HDMI ports, so the panel can maintain a profile of just 0.4 inches all the way down. Though we think the cheaper S90C is still a better overall value, the S95C is the best pick for buyers who want high-end OLED performance and design, but don't mind paying top dollar to get it. Number 5. Samsung 65-inch class Neo QLED 8K QN900C series. The QN900C is the absolute cream of the crop of Samsung's 2023 QLED TV lineup. It's an 8K TV, which means it boasts 4 times the total number of pixels as a 4K display, and it uses the company's most advanced mini-LED backlight system. The results are undeniably impressive, even if we still think 8K resolution is unnecessary for most people. During our testing, the QN900C hit a peak of nearly 2,300 nits in filmmaker mode, which makes it one of the brightest TVs on the market from any brand. High dynamic range highlights really sparkle, allowing HDR content that's graded with peaks beyond 1000 nits to come through with extra punch. But while the TV's 8K resolution means it has the potential to provide a sharper image than even the best 4K TVs, there really isn't any 8K content to play. Outside of a few YouTube videos, any movies or shows you can watch right now are limited to 4K or HD resolution. This means the TV will simply upscale these videos to 8K. The QN900's upscaling does look good, but we just don't think the TV's resolution is worth the extra money to most people. The perks of 8K resolution are particularly hard to see on a 65-inch model, which is why we don't recommend any 8K TVs in our guide to the best 65-inch TV. 8K benefits are more noticeable on sizes 75 inches and up, since 8K's higher pixel density can give images a cleaner appearance on larger screens.